Hi friends, let me ask you a question. If you found that one of your friends was discouraged and you were going to put forth an effort to make them feel better, what would you do? I don't know. I would probably try to take them out somewhere, try to encourage them with positive thoughts, right? Try to get to the root of the problem, see if maybe they have some irrational thoughts that are not truth, and see what I could do to make them feel better. Is that what you would do? Well, listen, in this study article 52, Watchtower promises to give some practical tips to help the downtrodden and the person who is discouraged. I want to read you a quote. It's a dialogue. This is not in Watchtower. It's a dialogue between two individuals, okay? It says, the real power, the power we have to fight for night and day, is not power over things, but over men. How does one man assert his power over another? By making him suffer. Power is inflicting pain and humiliation. Power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. This is a dialogue between O'Brien and Winston in George Orwell's book 1984. So what I want to do in this study article, or in this recap, is I want to see if Watchtower is really inflicting more pain on the already indoctrinated and potentially anxious, discouraged Jehovah's Witness. So let's jump right in. Well, listen, friends, I can sum this up right away. How can you fight discouragement? Well, you can stay away from Watchtower. Friends, this is what happened to all of us. We were bombarded with this type of imagery. Even as children, I was born into this organization. This is what I grew up with. Not only the images, but the topics covered in the literature. And this caused us pain and fear. But listen, let's get into the paragraph. Paragraph 2 tells us that we can become discouraged by many things, also to include, look in the box there, friends, our not receiving a desired assignment in Jehovah's service, or our having to witness in a territory that is, they said seems unresponsive, but you know what? We all know that those in the territory were unresponsive. Paragraph 3 in the box, listen to this. It says, under the subtitle, when dealing with imperfections and weaknesses, it would be easy for us to develop an unbalanced view of our imperfections and weaknesses. As a result, we might believe that because of our failings, Jehovah would never welcome us into his new world. Such an attitude can be harmful. No kidding. So when we were required to study books such as this one that was published in 1955, you may survive Armageddon into God's new world. Did we have any choice but to think that we were never worthy enough? 20 years after I got out of this organization, I still believed that I was unworthy. But it was until I replaced those lies of Watchtower that controlled me, and when I replaced those with the truth, that indoctrination fled and I was able to think more clearly. But listen, let's move along to the next couple of paragraphs where we see such negative talk as this, which is customary in Watchtower publications. Let me ask you, how does reading about humiliation, mistakes, complete failure, negative thinking and discouragement, feelings of being unworthy to bear God's name, how does this help a person dealing with panic attacks and anxiety, disheartenment, discouragement? How does this help? In the box it says, a righteous person in Jehovah's eyes is not someone who ever errs, but someone who is sorry for mistakes and always repents. That is not what Romans 7:21 through 25 says, friends. You can read it, it's there on the bottom. Paul here is talking about the inward man, the one who has been born again, who has been saved by grace through faith, through belief in the shedding of blood by Jesus Christ to forgive his sins. That's Ephesians 2:8-9. That inward man who has the righteousness of Christ is warring with the outer man who has to live in this world, in this sinful, fallen world, in this fleshly body that's dying. That's what he's talking about here. He's not talking about Jehovah loving us because we're sorry for our mistakes. That's ridiculous. But look at Philippians 3:9, which I put here. It says on the right, "And he found in him not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith." Now, wouldn't that be a way to encourage a person? Under the subtitle on the left, we can turn to our brothers and sisters, our spiritual family, for encouragement. That's great advice, yes. We can turn to Jehovah for support when dealing with ill health. It talks about a story of this man who was paralyzed due to an accident. He was told he'd never walk again. He was heartbroken and crushed in spirit. Not sure how that helps a discouraged person, but in the box above that it says, regarding Jehovah, "Or he may bring back to our mind comforting thoughts found in his word, such as the wonderful hope of perfect life without sickness and pain in the coming new world." You mean when Jehovah's Witnesses will be housing, feeding, and teaching the resurrected murderers and criminals about Jehovah for 1,000 years? You mean that new world? Paragraph 11 records Cindy's life-threatening disease. She had to endure surgery, pain, and feeling awful. I wonder if the reader is feeling better. Are you feeling better, friends? Paragraph 12 tells us the story of Laurel, who was confined to an iron lung for 37 years, enduring cancer, surgeries, chronic skin disorders. Paragraph 13 talks about an elder in France named Richard, who had a practical suggestion to those who are confined to their home or to a nursing facility. I recommend that they have a small literature display. Maybe the individual who's confined alone in their home can look at the magazines with pictures of Armageddon. That might help. When we do not receive a privilege, alone, downtrodden, in the dark, in a wheelchair. But then, of course, his future looks so bright when he can go and sit there at a literature cart. I wonder how many people would stop there, but rather than feeling worthless and deeply discouraged. Friends, listen. Paragraph 16 is truly unbelievable. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to explain what happened, okay? The faithful angels are a fine example. During King Ahab's reign, Jehovah invited the angels to suggest ways to fool the wicked king. A number of angels responded by offering ideas, but God chose one angel and told him that his suggestion would succeed. Did the other faithful angels become discouraged? Perhaps thinking, why did I bother? We have no reason to believe that they did. The angels are truly humble and want all honor to go to Jehovah. All right, friends, listen. I've done several videos telling you exactly what a watchtower is. Watchtower is a fallen angel. It's a guardian of the 4 points, north, south, east, west. And basically it's an evil spirit, all right? Anyway, listen to what happened in this biblical account. King Ahab was very, very wicked, and he had killed all the true prophets of God, most of them. And he served Baal. He had 400 prophets of Baal that he had summoned because he wanted to go against a king in Ramoth Gilead. So he went ahead and planned a joint attack against this king with Jehoshaphat. But Jehoshaphat was skeptical. So Jehoshaphat told King Ahab, listen, I want to get advice from a true prophet of God. And Ahab said, well, I know there's one, because he had killed them all. I know there's one called Micaiah, but I hate him because he always prophesies evil against me. So Jehoshaphat said, summon him anyway, and Micaiah did not give King Ahab a favorable report. Ahab was clearly rejecting the counsel of God. He was going up, no matter what. So Micaiah revealed this special counsel that he had seen in heaven. You have to understand, God had pronounced a death sentence against Ahab for being so wicked years before, but he gave him so much time to repent and turn to him, okay? So now Ahab wants to go up to war, and he's going to die. But he's going up anyway, because he believes he's going to live, okay? So Micaiah reveals this counsel in heaven that he had seen. I'm going to read it from 1 Kings 22, all right? It says, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. This is Micaiah speaking. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, another said on that manner, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said to him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all of these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. So listen, Ahab was told this by Micaiah. God puts this lying spirit in the mouths of the prophets that says, sure, go ahead, you'll succeed, even though the true God prophesied through Micaiah that you would fall. And what happened? He goes up, he disguises himself, and an unaimed arrow hits Ahab, and Ahab dies. The death sentence was carried out. Ahab got the desire of his heart. He thought he could manipulate the Lord, but he couldn't. So listen, here's the deal. God is sovereign. And God gave Ahab what he wanted. But back to Watchtower. Watchtower uses this story of a lying spirit, which is a watchtower, okay, according to sacredwicca.com, a watchtower is a guardian, is a lying spirit. Watchtower uses the lying spirit as an example to combat discouragement, because the rest of the spirits were not used to be the lying spirit. So therefore they did not get discouraged. Too much. Anyway, let's move on. Paragraph 17 in the box says, it is when we are modest and humble that we become truly lovable to Jehovah and to our brothers and sisters. So beg Jehovah to help you remain modest and humble. I want to remind you what Romans 5:8 says, but God commended his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Friends, wouldn't it be nice for a person who is discouraged, maybe feeling unworthy, maybe they did something they shouldn't have done and they're guilt-ridden, maybe they're not feeling lovable or modest and humble? Wouldn't it be great for Watchtower to quote, I think it's Matthew 11:28, where Jesus said, come, all you who have burdens and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Come as you are, friends. Come as you are. Come to me, and I will give you rest. Wouldn't that be comforting to the disheartened? But no, we have to beg Jehovah. But listen, Watchtower is now comparing Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, okay, who prophesied against the Babylonian invasion, begging Israel to turn and repent. because this Babylonian invasion was coming. They're comparing that story to the Jehovah's Witness who checks out a very difficult territory card and is subject to jeering and insults. Well, I don't see the connection there, but look at at paragraph 21. Discouragement can be a formidable weapon used by Satan. And Watchtower should know. Let me ask you, friends, do you feel less discouraged by studying this? Did Watchtower do a good job about healing your discouragement, providing tips to make a person less discouraged? Or do you think they inflicted more pain, more humiliation? Think about a person suffering from panic attacks. Think about a child having nightmares because they're studying Watchtower literature. They're hearing about Armageddon. They're seeing these go bags next to the car in the garage ready to take flight. A child who's afraid, and they're reading this trash. You think they felt better, or do you think they felt more discouraged, more fearful? Well, friends, I don't think they felt better. I don't think they felt less discouraged. But anyway, thanks for watching. I wanted to remind you that I'm speaking at the Witnesses Now for Jesus conference this weekend, the weekend of February 26th through 28th, 2021. And I'll also be introducing my new devotional. It's a 30-day devotional, which will help you diffuse the lies of Watchtower and replace those lies with the truth. Listen, we had a worldview as Jehovah's Witnesses. We believed what they taught us. And now that we know that it's all a big lie, those lies are not going to flee by themselves. We have to train our minds. We have to relearn basic truths so that we can put Watchtower abuse behind us. And that's the purpose of my devotional. So I will be introducing that there. And I think you're really going to like it, friends. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.